Hello. Good morning, my people from here. Good morning. Good morning. Please help us to share so that people can join us. My name is Epi Simon Okube. I live in Lexington, Kentucky. Today, we want to bring videos and then, of course, our slide because the Constitutional First Majeure of Ninas we just had the 4th anniversary. So please share, like, and subscribe. My sister is not here again, but we'll see. Maybe by next week, see what happens. Thank you so much. I don't know if we're coming out on Facebook. I'm not sure what is happening on Facebook, but I can see that of YouTube. So I'm not sure of Facebook. So please, those on Facebook, if you can't find us, please go to YouTube. Those on our platforms already, the YouTube link will be in there, and you will click on it and go to YouTube. Those that wondering like, okay, what's happening? This is a time for Daughters of Truth. I can't find Daughters of Truth. Search YouTube. Please search YouTube. Even if you've not subscribed, you can still find us. Daughters of Truth. In brackets, BWS. Just in case you see other videos, but it should be there. You should see our logo. Thank you. Let me join us to share, please. And then pull up the first video. Our first video. Let me try and get it, please. Continue to share, please. Continue to share.
In which kind of country will you want your children to be? This is the question. It is not about you and me. It is about them. This is intergenerational. After we have elected them, you'll then see them sending their arrows ahead. You'll see Bill Gates come and meet your president. You'll see Tony Blair come and meet your president. You'll see Macron come and meet your president. You'll see all of them. And then they will never admit, but they'll be told, if you want money in agriculture, behave this way. If you want money in this area, behave this way. They will never tell that to the Chinese. They will never tell that to the Indians. They will never tell that to the Vietnamese. They will never tell that to the Koreans. But in Africa, they tell us. That is why, as I speak to you now, under this new scramble, the IMF and the World Bank are back, telling you who to hire in your universities, what to sell and what not to sell. It is a sad situation. So today, as I look at Africa in that new scramble, the Chinese are here, the Turks are here, the British are here, the French are here, the Qataris are here, the Americans are here. This time round, they are so subtle that we don't even recognize them, but they control us. What are we going to do about it? In order to develop, we must do something. It has also been demonstrated that it can be done. I've traveled across this continent and I've seen that development is possible. You go to Rwanda now. They are demonstrating that it can be done. Go to Kigali now. See what they are doing in the health sector in their own small way. See how they are collaborating in the area of mobile telephony in their own small way. It can be done. I've been to Botswana and I've seen what they are doing in their own small way. I've been to Mauritius, see what they are doing in their own small way. And they do not have the resources that other countries have. And I'm giving this example to say that indeed it can be done, and it can be done within the continent of Africa. So what we must do is to begin to pull together. We have 55 telephone access codes. Nigeria 234, Ghana 233, Kenya 254, Tanzania 255, Uganda 256, Zambia 260, Zimbabwe 263. How can we, in this day and age, you cross into Benin, you cross into Togo, you cross into Guinea-Bissau, you have a different internet connectivity. Why can't Africa have a single satellite and a single telephone call, so that when I travel from Mogadishu in Somalia to Dhaka in Senegal, like the Chinese do, like the Americans do, like the Indians do, we can have the same, because communication is critical to development. And I'm saying this, part of my agenda is to prick your conscience with live examples, that you may go out there irritated, but irritated to do the right thing. And I'm suggesting that indeed, when we talk about development, this is what we must do. Is Africa conscious of her state? Yes, Africa is conscious. This is what makes me happy. That after all these analysis, it appears to me that Africans have now recognized that going forward, we can only defeat the conspiracies, we can only have development as we are talking about it by working as a team. It is only through industrialization that we are going to be manufacturers in all sectors. Make unity attractive. Because if you don't make it attractive, we will separate, and that will make us weaker. You are here, maximum 40 years, you will have gone upstairs. But after 40 years, in which kind of country will you want your children to be? This is the question. It is not about you and me. It is about them. This is intergenerational. Africa must change. Africa can change. And it can only change if we change our minds. And our minds we must change.
Yes, those that are seeing this video for the first time, usually when we come, we play video, other videos, so that one, other people, our viewers will see the opinion of, hear the opinion of other people. And secondly, we wait for more people to join. So this is, so if you're just seeing this video for the first time, you're wondering what is going on, yes, usually this is how we do it. We play some videos while we wait for others to join, and then before we now pull up our slides also, that we used to teach our people what they need to know about this project that we have. So our brother, everything that our brother said is right, but however, there's something he has not said. We need to decolonize Africa first. We need to decolonize Nigeria. You heard him when he said, okay, it can be done to some place, people that have less resources. What of the others? So what he doesn't understand yet, I believe by now he knows, because people have reached out to him to explain further, that those people, those places where you say, oh, they have resources and they are not developing, you ask yourself what's happening. That's because that is where colonization is highest. That's where the colonizers are sitting down on the neck of the people. So they want the resources to build their land. They will not allow you to develop. They will not allow you to do any other thing. So that's why the first step is to decolonize, complete decolonization, not flag independence. Because what African countries have as of today is flag independence, and that will not take you anywhere. So we need complete decolonization. So I'll pull up Nina's video, because remember we said today we are marking, we've done the 4th anniversary, but our title today is Constitutional Force Majeure is 4 years today. So our video mainly would be Nina's, because we want our people to follow, which is the work we do here. We break it down for our people to get it. So I'll pull up the next video and then continue to share, please, so that others can join us. Thank you. So this video is long, but I'll break it into 3 places and then talk to us as we go. Thank you.
Yes, it is with great delight that we come to you this December 2024, being the 4th anniversary of the NINA's Constitutional Force Majeure, which was aimed at winding down the operation of the 1999 Constitution. We can report to you very happily that that Constitution is dead, and this 4th anniversary will be the commencement of the winding up processes. That is that decommissioning that must now follow from the demise, from the defeat of that Constitution. We look back first at the content of that force majeure. What was it all about? For 25 years, running from 1999, we identified what was wrong with Nigeria in some detail, in fact, in great detail. What had to be done to rework it to functionality. And in the first 20 years that culminated in that force majeure proclamation of December 16, 2020, it was to get all the victims of unitary Nigeria, whether they were Ijaw crying about their resources, or they were thieves being slaughtered in their ancestral spaces, or they were Yoruba lamenting the collapse of their society from the progress that Awolowo took them to, or the Igbo that had now become the hostage of the rest of Nigeria for advancing to nowhere. There are maps you will see to explain to you all of what these terrible constitutional arrangements represent. That there was a conquest agenda initiated from Britain, recruiting the caliphate, expanded in 1967 by way of the alliance that now brought the renegade elements from the southwest of Nigeria and from the coastal east to isolate the Igbo. Nigeria then imposed a constitution to keep things the way they had organized, away from what was agreed as a basis of union, a federation. So Nigeria moved away from being a federation and imposed this unitary arrangement that has taken everybody's sovereignty, codifying it from 1975 at the instruction of Murtala Mohammed into what became the 1979 Constitution, which Olusegun Obasanjo processed for them on behalf of that alliance of 1967, alliance of the Caliphate and the renegade wing of the Southwest. And so that was how we landed into this disaster of unitarism that took away the federation and replace it by this total dysfunction in which the economy is in distress, the security is in tatters, and everything has gone as bad as they can go. And so it is in that sense that Ninas will actually declare a celebration of the delegitimization, mark my words, delegitimization of that constitution. And there are many of us who might be thinking that the constitution is that booklet that is painted green, white, and green. No, the constitution goes far deeper than that. The constitution is actually the union as codified, or what you might call the union agreement, if there was an agreement. And if there wasn't, like we have now, the union as dictated, the union as unilaterally defined, that's what we have now. The union as framed, that's what we have now, unilaterally by those who have created the master-servant society we have now. And they have taken our sovereignty hostage. And when I say sovereignty, it is your land and your rights to manage your affairs in that land, your ancestral land, and your ultimate right to decide for yourself how you live in that land. That is what makes up the sovereignty we're talking about. So Yoruba sovereignty is that Yoruba could be a country of their own, a country of 60 million people if Nigeria were to collapse today. It will be the country of their own with all their lands and waters belonging to them. The only reason, the only thing that is standing between them and the ownership stroke control of their lands and their affairs is that unitary Nigeria, not federal Nigeria. Federal Nigeria recognizes them as the owners of their lands and the owners of their assets and the owners of the rights to work those assets to their own benefit. And that's what a federation is. As it is for them, so it is for the rest of the nationalities. The Igbo, the Ijaw, the Tiv, everybody owning their own lands, their economic assets, but cooperating in a wider union that is called the Federation of Nigeria. But things went wrong in 1966 and the Federation of Nigeria collapsed. Then these same captors of state, these same invaders, aided by Britain, hijacked the carcass of that dead federation and began to do things by decree in which they pretended that Nigeria was still in place as discussed. They dismantled the 4 regions that were federated and generally, fractured everything into first 12 states and then 19 and then 20. Like that, we now have 36 states that were not mandated by the owners of the land. 36 states that were created just by the brigandage of those who had hijacked, like seizing a ship in which we are all sailing. Like pirates will do. So we are trapped in that ship. Today, that ship is sinking. That ship is called Nigeria. That ship is sinking, and we are all trapped in it. But the crew, the ones who are supposed to be our own servants, the people in government, they are not listening to. They are not about to listen to anybody. They've hijacked the ship. They are going in their own direction for their own destination. Meanwhile, the entire ship is sinking, and they are drunk in the cabin crew. They are not. Why will people be crying and shouting that our ship is sinking? Let us stop. Let us go to the harbor of constitutional reconstruction, which is what has acquired the street name of restructuring. And so, what Ninas did was to, in those 20 years leading to December of 2020, from 1999, what Ninas did was to go around to the victims of that unitary Nigeria, because everybody is now a victim of that monster that is feeding on the blood of its captives. Otherwise, tell me which part of Nigeria people are rejoicing. Their lives, they are full of security. They are full of, food. They are full of, everything good. No. He just crying, Yoruba is crying, Ogoni is dying, Middle Belt is being beheaded, everybody, Igbo is trying to run away to Finland, and all of that. And so something is wrong with the entire, project, the entire union, the entire Nigeria as you know it. And why we are speaking to you today is that we have isolated the source of that problem. We have isolated that monster, which is that constitutional arrangement. We have also isolated the enforcers of that unitary Nigeria, which is those who imposed it and those who joined in enforcing it. And who are those who imposed it? The British and their caliphate, their Fulani friends. Who are those who joined to enforce? The ones from the rest of Nigeria, that is southern Nigeria, middle belt of Nigeria, who are contesting elections, who belong to political parties that subscribe to this constitution that is that already defines everything. They are holding hands with that enemy that seized our sovereignty. And in that seizure of sovereignty, we are slaves in this union to those who impose that constitution and who are enforcing it against us. The governors, the senators, the House of Rep members, the ministers, and all of those who swear to defend and uphold this Constitution 99 are the ones enforcing. And so they are together with the ones who imposed it. And if you want to know what they get from it, go and check what they gather to share every month in Abuja in trillions. Whereas the owners cannot find food. What are they doing with that money when they share it? They go and buy dollar. It belongs to them. Because
Okay, so just a break so that we can give ourselves time to recap, what is being said. You heard it. The conquest agenda was initiated by Britain. For those that are still saying, oh, Britain has gone. No. If you followed, in case you're just joining, please, you can later watch the beginning part so that you hear how it's been broken down. How we got into the situation that we found ourselves. Ninas is saying that Nigeria has moved away from being a federation with autonomous constituent components. They have moved away from that federation. When you hear Nigeria, Federal Republic of Nigeria, it's no more a federal system. They have moved away from the federation because under federation, the component members will be autonomous, will be independent, according to the level of whatever they signed. But they will be able to run at the pace that they want. That is self-determination. That's why it says self. So Ninas is saying that Nigeria that you have today has moved away from that federation and has gone into dysfunctional unitary system. Unitary system means everybody's hands tied under one, like together. We know that in the case of Nigeria, they've been tied to like in 68 points, different places. They tied our head, tied our hands, tied our legs, tied everything. They codified this whole time, everything that they did. They now put it in 1999 unitary agreement that we did not make. They call it constitution. What that constitution means is agreement. And since you did not make it, it means they agreed on your behalf and said that you agreed. Ndị Igbo will say no ọgbala nkịtị kwere ekwe. That means if they are saying something and against you and you didn't say anything, my people say that means you agreed. So if you know you that did not agree, you have to say something. You have to voice it out. That's what Ninas is saying. So they codified it in the 1999 Unitary Agreement, aka Constitution. But it was framed and dictated by Britain and Fulani. That means they took away our sovereignty. They took our sovereignty hostage. Let's put it that way. They took it hostage. And if you want to operate at the level you wanted to operate, or the level that you're entitled to operate as a distinct ethnic nationality, you must get back your sovereignty. And that's the journey we are on. So we'll continue to play again. I just gave a pause so that more people can join us. I don't know what is happening on Facebook because I can't see it. Something happened, I can't see, but some people can see it because somebody has shared it. Thank you for those of you that shared it to me, and then continue to share and invite others. So we continue to play this video, and we'll follow the conversation going on. Thank you.
Because that constitution renders them unaccountable to you. That constitution gives them the spare key to the treasury. That constitution lists 68 items that the owners of the sovereignty, that's the federating units, cannot touch. And so my security is in the hands of these people who are out to eliminate me and take my land. My infrastructure is in their hand. The question of who will govern me is exclusively in their hand. All those 68 items, they put in that exclusive list. Just, it is a victory charter against all of us that they codified in 1979 and carried forward in 1999 with renegades from all the sides holding hands with them to swear to defend and uphold that instrument. Of course, they have to pretend it's a democracy to the rest of the world, and so elections, what they call elections, are staged. But tell us, can you look back and tell us on one occasion your vote had decided who became president? We had, what's the name of the one that rigged Jonathan's election? Jega. We had him acknowledge publicly that Jonathan did not lose the election. We saw the one in which Mahmoud Yakubu, the one that did the one of 2023 that coronated this, interregnum we have now. No election was won. And so even at the level of the sub-national, that is the states, and whoever will be senator, and whoever will be house member, whoever will be governor, it is not you deciding, it is those who sit in Abuja doing INEC. They process the candidates so they can process for you choices that will be boiled down to the devil and the blue sea. If the only 2-3 candidates they process for you, you've seen what's going on in Benin now. That a governor, PDP had raised the alarm at the time that this fellow is illiterate. They shouted from the rooftops. He has emerged governor. He was presenting budget, was it yesterday? In December of 2024. A governor of a state in Nigeria could not read the figures on the paper that was written for him to read out in his in the parliament of his Edo state. He wobbled and wobbled, just 605 billion. He doesn't know where billion ends and where million sits. A governor. And eventually said, well, as you find it there, that is what I have. Please approve. Let me go. That's it. That's how low we have degenerated. Could it have been the decision of the Edo people to elect somebody who cannot read one page of paper?
No.
To be their governor in the midst of the choices that were there to be made? It boils down to INEC. It boils down to exclusive lists. It boils down to Abuja deciding for all of us.
Exactly.
The case of Imo is still outstanding, in which somebody who was rejected roundly in an election turned by Supreme Court of Nigeria to become the governor. And look at the carnage that's been going on there. And so where we are now is, as you can see in this clockwork, will take you through. There are 4 periods here, and we go from this one that looks like a 12 on the face of the clock, was a point in 2020 that the consensus had been built against that constitution and against the enforcers of that constitution. The consensus of the victims, that's the peoples of Nigeria, to say this constitution is directly responsible for all the calamities befalling us, all the woes of Nigeria.
Yeah.
Whether it was insecurity, or it was corruption, or impunity, or the decay in infrastructure, or the hopelessness of the economy. Everything is flowing from that constitution. And so we had mobilized everybody into realizing that. And so together we came in 2020 December to say that we declare an emergency, we declare a dispute on that subject, and that we are going to do whatever it will take to take down that constitution, to go into another anarchist. Therefore, we said, let those in government house remain so we can go into a transition to rework the damaged constitutional basis of the Union of Nigeria. That's all we set out to do, and we are glad to report today that the entire country is in one accord. There's a countrywide consensus against that constitution. The constitution is an inanimate object. Who are the human operators? Again, we began to explain to them that the one who has a name that looks like your own, like Bola Tinubu may sound like Yoruba to Yoruba people today. There was an Obasanjo that had a similar Yoruba name. There was a Jonathan yesterday that had an Ijaw name. And there is a Peter Obi that could have become president if the result of the election of 2023 was properly managed. He will have a name that sounds Igbo, that is Igbo. But on the 29th of May, in the year of election, he will be swearing to defend and uphold that constitution. And that is the beginning and the end of your damnation. But that is what now invests him with power to go and do what this enemy had dictated into that constitution. So you will still have the false claim against you that in that preamble that says, we the peoples of Nigeria, that's we the Yoruba, we the Ijaw, we the Igbo, we the Tiv, we the Berom, have solemnly and firmly resolved to live in unity forever. That falsehood will remain there, meaning that your sovereignty will remain in the hands of those who hijacked it by the instrumentality of that constitution since 1967. There's no progress. You've heard it from everybody. You heard it from Emeka Anyaoku the other day, that even if Angel Michael or Gabriel is brought to come to manage Nigeria under this constitution, it will fail. You had Dele Farotimi shouting from the rooftop the other time that even if you bring 1,000 Dele Farotimis and hand Nigeria to them to manage under this constitution, that they will fail woefully.
Exactly.
You had Kingsley Moghalu saying that the economy that is in free fall is on account of the wrong constitutional arrangement. You can't build an economy on the damaged constitutional foundation. It is what you see now that you continue to see.
Yep.
Who else needs to speak? Dixon Serake, that is in the Senate, he was governor in Bayelsa. He has seen all the sides of it. He was in the uniform services. He's been in the executive branch. Today he's in the legislative branch. He's saying that we are living in a fraud. So how else is it to be explained to these people who have hijacked the ship of state, the ones hanging around in Abuja and the ones who come to join them every month to share, the blood of the people, because that's what they are sharing in the name of allocation. Because that money is not meant for anything for you. That money, by virtue of that constitution, is theirs to spend as they deem fit, and they have immunity. You can't question them. They have the spare key to the treasury to take by the appropriation provisions. We've explained these things 1 million times. We don't have a democracy, because democracy that is government of the people, by the people, for the people, it means only one thing. Government of the people means that the people dictate the ultimate rules, which is what you call the constitution. The rule book is determined just like a memo and articles of a company. It is the owners of the company that have the exclusive right to make their memo and article. For a country, it is the constituent components, the peoples of the country that could have been countries of their own, but for the Union of Nigeria, that have the exclusive right to make a constitution, to negotiate, commit to a union, negotiate what the terms of that union will be, and codify among themselves how their union will be operated. That is what you call the constitution. Those are the things, the first claims in that preamble that say, we the people. That means the constituent components,
Yeah.
the nationalities, in the formations of their choice, because it's their land they're submitting into a union that will be managed by now a government they will appoint later. So they were never invited to discuss. They never agreed on anything. They never wrote any constitution. And all the things that make them who they are, all their lands and their economic assets, all their rights to work those lands are seized by that falsehood that it was their decision to submit their land to be managed on the terms contained in that document, and that they were the ones who wrote down those terms in terms of so that is what we have to resolve. That is what Ninas has spent the last 25 years to get everybody to see that falsehood cannot remain the basis of union. Anybody who is doing economic reform on top of you are like, the choice to build on a non-existent foundation is a choice to crash.
Yep.
Nigeria is heading for a crash. That reform you are doing is of no interest to those whose economic assets have been hijacked since 1967 for over 55 years. You sit in.
Okay, we'll take another break. So I hope we are listening. I hope we are following, sharing. Please subscribe, like. Just hit the like button. Because when you hit the like button, you are promoting this information. You know that this information, like our brother Uchenno Keke said, Barrister Nadi, always on point. So you want other people to get accurate information. Like we keep saying, we don't want lies, we don't want propaganda, because they will not take us anywhere. If you're busy deceiving yourself, spreading lies are propaganda. You're not delivering yourself. You are doing it against yourself. So it's important that you share. Please like. You're not liking it just for liking's sake. Once you like or subscribe, if you have not subscribed, either on Facebook, you like, or YouTube, you like, subscribe, hit the notification button. The information we get. So no matter what the algorithm is doing, once we post a video, you will get it. And then share to other people. That's all we're asking you at this time, because that's part of mobilization. So Nigeria is sitting on the foundation of impunity. Everybody has heard it. Everybody has said it. It's an open truth. It's no more a secret. However, there is now a consensus, nationwide consensus, by the victims. That's the indigenous peoples in their distinct formation. When we talk of indigenous people, we're not talking about the artificial creations that came in later, because those artificial creations cause trouble. Remember, we told you on this show severally that after the 1884-85 balkanization, we call it balkanization because it's not like separating people in distinct their formations. They will just take Ogoni. They can break them into 5. They take Yoruba people, for instance, spread them everywhere. Some are here, some are in this country, some are in that country. They did not care your natural borders when they were doing that. So that balkanization is still what they are doing with the states that you have. You know it. You are living it. You know it's the truth. So all the division based on colonial system is balkanization, because they are not trying to put you to be together. They want to mix you up like Ngongo, just mix up everything so that there will be confusion in the system. So they intentionally introduce crisis, confusion, so that while you're doing that, they're stealing your resources. This is why we're saying the first step is for ethnic nationalities. They know themselves. You have your language, you have your boundaries, your original boundaries. We are not talking of Niger Delta. We're not talking of Biafra. We are not talking of all these are just creations that came later. Original people, Igbo people, Yoruba people, Ijaw people, Efik, Tiv, Urobo, Ishekiri, you know them. You have your languages. In that formation, you are all victims of this colonial Nigeria. So we're saying that there's now a nationwide consensus by the victims of this unitary Nigeria who have declared an emergency on this Nigeria that is destroying their people, destroying their land, stealing and confiscating their resources. There is an emergency declared by these victims. What is their tax? What is the urgent tax? Why are they doing that? They have agreed to do whatever it will take to rework the union. Nigerians are slaves to those who imposed and are enforcing the unitary constitution. Nigerians are slaves. Sometimes when you say Nigerians are slaves, people start saying, no, 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 no. We are not slaves. But you are. You just saying no, 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 no in one corner does not end the slavery. You must be intentional about ending this slavery. Thank you. Let's continue the video and watch the remaining part of it. Thank you very much.
Abuja, like a robbery gang, holding on to stolen assets and pointing guns at everybody, because it's also that same constitution that gave them the gun. I was talking about democracy as government of the people. That is, that the people make the ultimate rules. That is what government of the people means. By the people means that it is by the vote of the people that those who manage that power are elected, selected every 4 years. In Nigeria, that has never been the case, and it cannot be the case under this constitution. If you want to find out some more, go and ask Peter Obi whether he did not get more votes. Did your vote coronate him president?
No.
No. Why? That constitution makes it impossible for your vote to coronate anybody president or governor or senator. Then the third leg for the people means that whoever is going to wield power will be doing so for the benefit of the people. Why will it be for their benefit? Because the people decided the contents of the constitution from the first day.
Exactly.
If you have not defined, if you are not the one that decided the rules, what you have now is what you are going to get. They structured the rules in the manner to exclude you. Mm-hmm. That's why you are miserable, poor, hungry.
Yep.
And then you have people with education, the Nigerian Bar Association with all the lawyers floating around inside it, the labor unions. Why are you not talking about this hijack that makes democracy impossible? There's no rule of law that can come from that kind of constitution of impunity. Again, I refer to Dele Farotimi that had constantly defined that constitution as one guarded by impunity. That's it is founded on it is sitting on the foundation of impunity.
Yes.
So you can't have the rule of law, you can't have any security, because the guns are taken from you and handed to people who are determined to kill you, like robbers owning the exclusive right to control gun in your neighborhood. You can't even defend yourself against them. So Fulani can come from Mauritania or Senegal, wherever they come from, and come to your community in southern Kaduna or in Berom area in Jos and kill you and take your land. The ones in uniform are of them. Commander-in-chief can be Bola Tinubu, but why has the invasion not stopped since he became president? This is the second year.
It won't stop.
And so the purpose of this broadcast is to let us know that from that point of raising that building that consensus, we launched out in the period that followed to get more people to understand and to join in saying that we cannot continue like this. We cannot continue to build a democracy on a non-existent constitution, because it cannot be democracy. We have achieved that completely. Then, from the period that followed, we are talking about what has happened in the last 4 years, because we are moving into a new phase. First, we are going to celebrate the demise of the 1999 Constitution.
Yes.
If anybody is still stupid enough to think that the document is still standing, when everybody from everywhere is saying that the document is the source of the problem, we didn't make it, and we're going to do away with it, such a person can remain in his hallucinations. But the majority, the overwhelming majority of the peoples of Nigeria, high and low, including the government that was looking for how to write another constitution through the back door. You saw them when Benjamin Kanu said he was going to write another one and give us in 24 months. You saw when the Patriots came to say, oh, make a draft. We say no, that before we begin to write down anything at all, there are two steps that must be observed.
Yes.
You must identify those who are going to federate. And in the formations of their choice, you must identify the Yoruba that is now fed up with Nigeria, waving Odua nation flag. You must identify the Igbo and the formations they choose to relate in. And then it is in identifying them in that delineation that you now come to the second step of getting them to sit down and negotiate. They did not negotiate in 1914 when the British imposed Nigeria on them. The little negotiation that happened in Lancaster House was toppled in 1966.
Fact.
By 1967, it was replaced completely by something that has never been referred back to them to this date. It has been decree after decree after decree. You saw Gowon the other day, still alive at 90, but unwilling to speak the truth about what they did. Obasanjo is still there. But he goes, he talks, he says, the other day he went to Port Harcourt to say, the peoples of Nigeria must now go and sit down and work out their constitution. Why can't Obasanjo be the one? Because he's the one that turned us into this mess more than everybody else. In 1979, from Murtala Mohammed that commissioned Rotimi Williams and Ben Wabeze in 1975. Why can't Obasanjo be the one telling the whole country that we can't go to another election under this constitution? He came out to say Peter Obi will come and do it. Then we had to challenge him. Go and check Guardian newspaper of the 6th of January in 2023 to see what we told him about loading a vehicle without engine. That was what he was doing with Peter Obi that will come and now repair Nigeria. Will Peter Obi become constitution? If Peter Obi becomes president, will that preamble not remain there? If Peter Obi becomes president, will 36 states not remain there? 704 local government areas, that brings us to 812 governments that we have to finance every month. And people are asking where the high cost of governance came from. Say you do a Rosario report, you reduce a vehicle of convoy, and all kinds of nonsense. Why are we financing 812 governments? What is local government doing inside the constitution? And then you have a Supreme Court that will bypass the constitution to say local government autonomy. What does it mean? Who agreed to have 774 local government areas in a federation?
Not us.
Who did you discuss 3 tiers of government with?
Not us.
Why have the governors not developed their states? And so, in these last 4 years, we have secured the consensus against that constitution countrywide. We have secured the consensus against the enforcers of that constitution. That is all the political parties that seek to govern Nigeria with that constitution, including the ones who have not won elections yet. The ones who have sworn and the ones who are planning to swear, because when they win, they will swear.
Yes.
So, NINAS is by these brokers announcing to us that going forward, because there's another period of renewal, that's another election that might happen in 2027 if the victims of unitary Nigeria remain in their sleep. And so NINAS is not going to, NINAS will do whatever it will take, because of the number of people who have died from the operation of that constitution. All the hunger you see now, all the deprivation you see now, all the failures of every system you see. You've seen the one of the justice system. What about the police system? What about the electoral system? What about the Every system you can imagine, the governance system, all of them are in disarray on account of that constitution. And so, Ninas is saying, we have endured it sufficiently. 25 years is long enough. When we were saying, let us stop and repair before we proceed to election in 2023, many people didn't understand it. But look at what has happened across the last 1 year and a half to them, because they went to that election.
Mm-hmm.
The men of God in the land, and all the people who are supposed to be watching out for the people who do not know.
Those ones are worse.
All of them were eager to get their own people to become president. Our kinsman will be president. Oh, it is Igbo turn.
PVC.
Where are we now? If we choose to proceed to that 2027 election under this constitution, it is a choice to perish. And it is a choice of stupid people. It is a choice of stupid people.
Yep.
But when the suffering will come, because if you think you are suffering now, what you are going through now is a child's play. If we do not terminate the operation of that constitution sooner than later,
I want to.
we are not saying chase out the people in government house. Ninas is still willing to accommodate in a transition all of those who are in the governance structure of now. Let those in government house, whether they won election or they didn't, remain in a transitional capacity through that period of transition, like South Africa did to ease itself out of the apartheid, bind in 1990. It took them 5 years. They ended in 1994 with the election that brought Mandela. It is this same problem we are trying to solve now that South Africa solved. Apartheid came in 1910, Nigeria happened in 1914. The Boers imposing a constitution that rendered the black slaves in their land. In case of Nigeria, the British and their Fulani friends imposing Nigeria that excluded the owners of the land from any meaningful thing. And now, by 1999, they had codified the first, the second, third time, and that's what they got to build their democracy on. Is it working for anybody now? It's not working. It's not. Everybody is saying it is not working. What then shall we do? To go to another election that will renew the life of that constitution in 2027? That will be a stupid decision. That will be a decision to build on a damaged foundation. And that's only one outcome possible. That edifice will crash. That edifice will crash. That Nigeria you're building on the foundation of a constitution that is damaged, the constitution that does not exist, will crash.
Yep.
And we're not saying it will happen by accident. The person speaking with you, as a part of a majority that reject that constitution, are going to do whatever it will take to crash that constitution. Those who are sitting in Abuja and thinking that they become the owners of our sovereignty, you better dress back. Because right from this 4th anniversary, from the 16th day of December in 2024, Ninas will proceed with the mobilization to rally the victims of unitary Nigeria countrywide against the enforcers of unitary Nigeria. I repeat, Ninas will now rally the victims of unitary Nigeria, that is the peoples of Nigeria whose sovereignty have been hijacked by that constitution, against those who are holding on to that constitution as basis of union. 25 years is sufficient in terms of pleading and begging and generally trying to persuade. Now, the boxing ring, the venue for that fight is whether we proceed to election in 2027 under that constitution or we go to transition. Those who want to salvage their own people from this bondage will stand with us in saying transition in place of election. Let us go and repair this ship before we all sink with it. Those who want to hold hands with the enemy to continue to suck the blood of the people will say, oh, let us go to election and build our democracy further. It is a choice that we have all to make, but Ninas will lead those who reject that constitution, who then say they cannot go to another election under it because it will only renew their bondage, and who insist on immediate transition or the dissolution of the stupid union. The union is dead.
Yep.
If we can't define the terms of that union.
Yes.
If anybody imagines that it is guns that will be used to camp and clamp. Be informed that guns are useless in this discussion. It is that constitution that put the guns where they are now. The collapse of that constitution means that everybody can take what that constitution took from them, including their sovereignty, including their economic access, including the guns to defend themselves in their place. We do not have a union under this bad arrangement. You heard it from Professor Anthony Akinwale. You heard it from Kingsley Moghalu. You heard it from Majeure many times. We do not have a union under this fraud of 1999. I think a word should be enough for the wise. We stop here.
Yes, a word is enough for the wise. Are you people hearing? Is everyone hearing? So as a recap, let me mute this. As a recap, Nigeria is built on fraudulent unitary constitution. This Nigeria that is built on fraudulent unitary constitution will crash. It's already crashing. Everybody is seeing it. Nigeria is a failed state. We don't need anyone to tell us anymore. You can see it. You're living it. Nigeria is a failed state. It's crashing. So the union will die if we cannot define the terms of the union. If we are not able to say, this is this, this is this, this is that, specify things the way they should be, it will die a natural death. It's crashing. What you're seeing is Nigeria crashing. It's a failed state. So Ninas is mobilizing the victims of unitary constitution against the enforcers of unitary constitution. Very simple. So you will not say you did not hear, because when it will start, remember some countries, some African countries, when some people were doing buga for the longest time, people were warning, people were shouting, people were saying things. They closed their ears as if their eardrum is broken. Ninas has been warning for over 25 years, because when it will happen, there will be casualty. So the victims of unitary constitution, one side, the battle line is drawn. Unitary constitution is in the middle. The victims of the unitary constitution, you and I, we the people, all the indigenous peoples on one side, against those that are enforcing the unitary constitution, because it's somebody that is enforcing it. All of you politicians, all of you church leaders, all of you willing tools, all of you political parties doing mago up and down, trying to present to the world that we have democracy when we know that we don't have democracy. All of you, you are enemy of the people together, because you are enforcing and imposing something that is killing the people. Ninas is mobilizing those victims. Towards what? We want transition. Transition in place of general election. Because there's no point getting people that will make things worse, because the system is already bad. The system is bad. Getting a new person, it's not the solution. So please continue to share and drop your comments. We'll reply, if not now, we'll reply at the end. If you have questions to ask, because we want our people to understand. People say, oh, you people always talking. Yes, we are teaching our people. We don't want our people to be ignorant again, because they were not too informed. That's why all these things happen to us. Even the independence they went for, they didn't even know the people they were fighting with. They were 10-headed demons. So we took it upon ourselves to come here every Saturday to break it down for our people, for everyone to understand. And then you'll be part of the solution. So we talk about introduction. We're going now to our slides. We'll play the videos. Those that are just joining, we played videos. Usually we play videos. Two things the videos do for us. We try to get the opinion of other people, so it will not be just us talking on the show. And then while playing the videos, we are giving our people opportunity to share Yes, our brothers, our Papa Tajuddin said, it is overdue, long overdue. Where we are now is enforcement, enforcement. Thank you for that. So I'll pull up what he said. Let me add it so that our people will be seeing the comment from other people. Because sometimes people say, oh, you're just one talking. No, we're not just one talking. We are representing our people, millions of our people that are dying on the yoke of this, dying under this evil yoke. We represent them. We are voice to the voiceless. We are giving voice to our people. So do not think that we are just, oh, she's alone talking. No, 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 no. Our people are there. They give us feedback. We see what they're going through. So the topic today is constitutional force majeure is 4 years now. We just celebrated the 4th anniversary for constitutional force majeure. We sent our promo out. So I will just read it for us as well of introduction. So Nina's on 16th December 2024 put up an article, a publication, and the heading, the beginning of it, the introductory part of it. So that's what we're using as our first phrase. Usually we give a phrase and then before we talk, it says, with the defeat and the delegitimization of the 1999 Constitution, we must now proceed to the decommissioning of that fraud via immediate transitioning. We are not telling you to go and carry stick, go and do this. No, immediate transition. There's a process in what is being done because we don't want our people to fall victim further of the evil system. The evil system, if you do anyhow, you see anyhow. We don't want that. We don't want you doing anyhow. We want you following the system so that you will not be casualty. After 7 cycles of general elections with worsening outcome, it's now very obvious to honest and sincere Nigerians that proceeding to another round of national election in 2027 under the 1999 unitary constitution will be a mass suicide attempt. You know it. And you always say it in your conversation. We hear you. You say, oh, this one came, it became worse than the other one. This one came, it became worse than the other one. This one came, it became worse than the other one. Of course, the system is going down, it's crashing. That's why no matter who comes, Angel Gabriel, Angel Michael, no matter who comes, your situation is going to be worse because that's how the system has been designed. The system has been designed to collapse and collapse on the head of people sustaining it. So it will be like you didn't hear and you want to go and destroy yourself for you to continue to allow general elections where you bring out one so-called saint. Oh, General Buhari, change. He's coming to change. Yeah, he doesn't touch money. He had 150 cows, and the 150 cows were important, and they never increased. That shows that he's not greedy. Really? Like, really? Seriously? Is that what it shows? Is that not inefficiency? Is that not unproductivity? But if you're in a broken system, things that should not make sense will start making sense to you. So to halt this suicide mission, the victims of unitary Nigeria are being invited to the next steps in the implementation of the NINA's Constitutional Force Majeure, CFM. Some people sometimes they make comments, uninformed people, because they kept our people very ignorant. Oh, Ninas, you have declared constitutional force majeure. What happened? Where is your constitutional force majeure? Ignorance is not a strategy. Get informed. That's why we come here, to make sure you get informed. So you don't talk outside, like you don't talk so that you can talk with somebody that is educated, like someone that is educated. Even if you're not educated, you are informed. because it's not about education, it's about using common sense. Our ancestors didn't go to white man's school, but they had common sense and they were using it to solve problems. So this will precipitate an immediate transitioning process for the constitutional reconstruction of Nigeria in place of the general elections being advertised for 2027 under the rejected 1999 constitutional arrangements. As a mark of their rejection of the 1999 constitution, the indigenous peoples of Nigeria are required to firmly and loudly reject the voyage to 2027 general elections from the start of 2025. This January that is coming, that's when you begin. Yeah, eat your Christmas rice if you have any. Do whatever you want to do. January, your action starts. You must say it loudly. You must say it firmly that this is what you want. You will urgently demand an immediate transitioning process. You, because it's called self-determination. We have said it. We have done other things. Nina has done all the things that they need to do. Where we are now is where the public, those that are dying under the yoke of this evil slave camp called Nigeria, we say it. We are not telling you to carry stick. We're not telling you to go inside evil forest with a gun that cannot kill lizard. We're saying, say it firmly, loudly, the way you said obedient, the way the church people carried it to go and say PVC, PVC, all the way that have been inside, you've been inside church, paying tithe, doing all those things, it's you that did it. Yeah, they talked to you, but you did it. So don't feel incapacitated. You have power. All those wrong things, the way you have been doing all those wrong things is what we are saying. Stand up and do the right thing. Starting this January 2025. Demand immediate transitioning process. They did it in South Africa. They did it in Chile. They did it so many other places that you can, if you Google, you see it. Remember, this is not boycott of national elections. No, it's not boycott. Boycott means on the day of election, you stand there like this. I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to vote. That's not what we are talking about. That one, if you don't vote, they will go and get fake human beings to vote. Like they brought fake bishops to come and do whatever they did. They can manufacture, they can go to Niger and bring people that are hungry. They can manufacture human beings for anywhere. So we are talking about stopping the machinery. You saying, you see, this thing is not going to happen. It's not going to happen in our land. Right from when they are campaigning, you will make noise, you will shout, mba, 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 mba. No, 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 no. Everybody's shouting on social media. Everybody's saying it on social media. No, 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 no. Stop, stop, stop. It's like when a driver is carrying you in a vehicle and he's taking you to wrong direction. You're saying, no, driver, stop. Oh, I want to get down. Stop, stop, stop. Stop this vehicle. Stop this vehicle. You make noise. So we're not talking of a boycott. We're talking about complete, total shutdown of preparations for the journey to 2027 national elections. If you agree for them to carry you to the place, all they need you is to be that you allow them. Then they will show the world that there's democracy. Before you know it, those people with Bakara will start coming. Election observers, we are coming. If you know how much they pay those people to come and observe the nonsense that they will give stupid reports, you will not believe it. So it's from beginning. You won't even allow them to start. That's what we're saying. You allow them to prepare that they're evil. Another thing that Nina says you should do is that you must adopt the 5-point proposition of the constitutional force majeure as your own demand for ease of engagement. Because when everybody is talking and like nobody knows what this one is saying police, this one is saying justice, this one is judiciary system, this one is saying this, it can be confusing. So Nina has distilled everything, put it together into just 5 points so that there'll be uniformity in what we're saying. So when we speak, it's one voice, one demand. It makes things easy. When somebody asks you, what do you want? You say one thing. It's easy for somebody that wants to help you. But if they say, like in the Bible, when Jesus will ask somebody, what do they want to do for you? He say, I've been on this pool for the 30-something years. Nobody is helping me to enter the pool. Or guy, you're telling story. They say, what do you want? Not story. That's what Nigerians have been doing. For the past 60 years, they have been killing us. We have not been eating. They've been doing it. You are telling story. All you need, 1999 Constitution is fraudulent. We did not make it. It was imposed. It took away, it took our sovereignty in hostage. So we want it down. And because we don't want chaos, we're going to do it in transition. Transition from horror to honey, to honor. So we're going to do transition. You just a 5-point agenda. Go and study. We'll always show it here on this show so that you see the things stated. So please join our show. You already joined. We can see you watching. Share so that more people will join. We have a tax. We have an unfinished business. You know what that business is? Decolonizing Nigeria. Nigeria is still a colony. Nigeria is still British Fulani colony. That's why what is happening to you is happening to you. So we have an unfinished business. We must decolonize Nigeria. This tax, Ninas is already leading through the decommissioning of the 1999 Unitary Constitution. Because you see people come and say the same thing that Ninas have been saying. If you took you 25 years to know that is the Constitution, you think we're going to wait for you for another 25 years to get the solution? Please go and sit down. Stop plagiarizing. Nina's information, it's out there. So we see some of you copy. If you say everything, but you not mention Nina's, that is called plagiarism. And it won't take you anywhere. You want to insert yourself to be the leader of what you don't know how it's happened? How are you going to conclude it? How are you going to finish up? That's what happens when people do copyright. When you steal part of somebody's work, you don't have the brain to finish it. And that's dangerous to both you and those that are listening to you. Because you go on the main road, going in circles. You don't know where to go anymore. Because when the one you stole finishes, you don't have the one for the next step. Have you seen the danger of stealing people's brain work? For 25 years, people have been in Ninas, working, putting things together. You think it's the one they put in public. That's the details? No. It's a segment of it. If you steal that one, when you finish using the one that you stole, what will happen to the rest? How do you conclude? Have you seen what you're doing to yourself? Sorry for those that are listening to these people that like plagiarizing. Because you go with them, run up and down, no. After running up and down, you are in 1 circle. You're going round and round and round the mountain. You're not moving forward because you're following people that are plagiarizing. Whether it's Biafra, whether it's your Duduwa, whether it's whatever you're doing. If you're not doing whatever you're doing, called self-determination with Nina's templates, you are plagiarizing and you're wasting your time. Because when you have done one segment, you won't know what to do next. If you want, go to Finland and shout Biafra 100 times. It's not going to give you self-determination because you are even basing whatever you're doing on wrong foundation. You are like Nigeria. You are doing the same thing that Nigeria did. It's when you get tired of running up and down, you will go and sit down and do what you are told to do. Because you see this work, where we are now, it's you, the people, that will do it. So your jumping up and down is not the way forward. All you need to do is calm down, pay attention to what we are explaining to you so that it will make sense to you. Thank you very much. Please continue to share. I'll pull up our slide because, like we said, we like using slide to teach our people so that if you can hear, you will see it. And when you see it, you can read with it. You can read it and understand it. Understanding is what we want. We want our people to be informed. Understand it so that you will not be colonized again. like we said, the topic is constitutional force majeure is 4 years now. Of course, the objectives, introduction, which we have given to us, exposing and extinguishing the many rots in Nigerian systems. That's slide 6. Nina's definitive milestones to liberation, starting from slide 12. Then we'll give us take-home points and then some announcements. Of course, this video, as always, is for educational purposes only. So this is fair use disclaimer. Facebook, YouTube allows the video to go, allow all the things that we're doing to go, because we want to educate our people. Of course, we always show us this, how we got into trouble. Yeah, Sir Amadu Bello will say there's no Sir in his name. This is the beginning when people will say, oh, what happened to him? What are these? No. This man is the connection of the 1999 Constitution to the dark life, the darkness that we are going through. Like he said, the new Nigeria, the new nation called Nigeria, should be an estate of our great-grandfather, Usman Don Fodio. We must ruthlessly prevent a change of power. We use the minorities of the North as willing tools and the South as a conquered territory, and never allow them to rule over us, and never allow them to have control over their future. Is that not what has been happening to you? This is the battle script. Please continue to share, like, and subscribe. We'll go to the first segment, exposing and extinguishing the many rots in Nigerian systems. The systems in Nigeria, all of them, is rotten. Are you talking about judicial system, electoral system, governance system, police and law enforcement system, economic system, financial system, CBN? You know what is happening in CBN, MFLA. You know all the stories there. We are not coming here to recount them for you. You already know them. Corruption, EFCC, their chairman, this one will come, that one will come. Endless tale of woes. Are we talking about the custodian of your mortgage sovereignty? The one that they now said is FBI active agent, the active assets. All these things going on in all the system, healthcare system. Family members are calling how their people are dying for just minor things that people should not die about. But the system is down. Everything is as a result of the 1999 Unitary Constitution, the foundation of the rotten system of Nigeria, 1999 Unitary Constitution. That's how it started. So it's either you partner with the indigenous peoples or you fall victim of the rotten system and the agents that are implementing it. Where we are now, you don't have any choice. You are a victim either way. Whether you keep quiet or you speak, you're a victim. The only way out is to join those that want to do something about the rotten system the right way, not those that are playing around. You saw what happened to Dele Faro to me, or still happening to him. This is just a beginning of how they want to knock off those that want to stop BAT and Wike from returning in 2027. People don't have idea of what these people have done to enter that Aso Rock. You have no clue. If you get the details of what they did, there are some people that you see that they can't touch because those people were part of what they did to enter that Aso Rock. Now they want to come in the second time. You think it's campaign that will do it? You don't know what is going on. You have no clue. We pray that some of you will remain alive at the end. The infrastructure of corruption is framed under the 1999 Unitary Constitution. So those that are demanding for release of Faro to me, or for Dele, or indicting those that are bullying him, You must develop courage to go to the roots of the rotten system. If you're honest, if you're sincere, if you are really, really, really ready to end the rotten system, this is what you should do. You go to the roots of where it started, the tap that is bringing out the evil water. Not by shouting on the main road, oh, the judicial system is rotten. Is that the only system that is rotten? Everything is rotten. We are talking about the unitary constitution that had made oppression and bullying possible. Something made this thing that is happening to Delhi possible. Is the system. By putting power in one agent. It can be agent, it can be colonial active asset, it can be agent of a global terrorist network, it can be drug cartel, it can be mafia, whatever gang, they will decide to get an agent from their midst. And they're shielded by the colonial police. You know, the police system that you have in Nigeria is not for the people. It was established by the colonial monsters to protect the colonial monsters from the natives, from the indigenous peoples, from the colonized populace. The police is not for you. It's for the oligarchs, the colonialists, their puppets. That's why you're seeing what you're seeing. So the system of Nigeria, the colonial system, is built in such a way that one monster will sit down in one corner and just press a button. Everybody will explode. Everybody will be ruined. Whether it's your business, whether it's just one policy, you will go from millionaire to a beggar. One policy, just one button, pump. That's how the system is built. They did it intentionally. Amalgamation. Bring everybody together, then tie them together like ogiri. So that once you want to take a decision to do anything that will affect all the people, just one button. You just lazily lift your hand, bam, and press it. It's done. It goes everywhere. So if you want to solve the problem, will common sense not tell you that you just go to that one system and remove it? That's how you solve it. You don't go running around to everything. Okay, if you do this one, when are you going to finish the 68 items? The thing is tied in one place. I would say we are lucky because it's tied in one place. It makes our work easy if we are actually able to reason properly. So we, the people, the victims of unitary colonial Nigeria, must focus all available energy to extinguish the source of that fire. Not here, Biafra, here, Oduduwa, there, this, there, that one. No. Oh, police, NSAS, judiciary, this one. All that energy, all that power, you bring it together. Put energy to get the fire down. The source of the fire is the unitary constitution. That's where you should focus. That's where anybody, whether you call yourself Deleo, whether you call yourself Showore, whether you call yourself anything obedient or whatever you call yourself, that is where you should focus if you are really serious. We need to define the change we seek. The Bible says that if somebody wants to build a house, you first of all check, calculate, put things in place before you start building. If not, everything will collapse. There's a video, Nina's video on YouTube. It says, defining the change we seek. Go and watch it. The change we seek and the mechanism to attain it. This is what we want. This is how we'll get it. Very simple. We'll talk about immediate transitioning from horror to honor. That's if you're interested. As an indigenous person, you are not without option. You are not hopeless. The question is, will you listen? Will you use the option of life? Or will you choose to be a casualty of the system? Your choice. What's your choice? Are you going to listen and do what is expected? Or you want to be casualty first? You want Nigeria to happen to you? Do you want Nigeria to happen to you before you begin to shout? Continue to share, like, and subscribe. Of course, this video is for educational purpose. So Nina has had a message for the 4th anniversary. We will not read it. It's here because of time. If when you're watching the video, you can actually read it there. And it's also in circulation. It's out there, be published. The one thing I want to tell you is the 1999 Constitution is Victory Charter from 1967 to 1970. Genocide is the Victory Charter of that genocide and must now be decommissioned to end that war. Those that are interested, we see people having interview. Oh, now we are sorry for Biafra. Oh, we want to apologize for Biafra. Yes, we'll do everything to help Ndibo. The fact is that the thing that Ndibo wanted to contain has spread to everywhere. So you have to be sorry for yourself also. It's not only sorry for Ndibo now. You're not any better. Abi, your own food, are you buying it different? Ndibo are even better than some of you because Ndibo have been suffering for a long time. So they are used to suffering and they've developed thick skin. But some of you have not been used to it. So that's why you are shouting more now. So you need to be sorry for yourself. If we want to end this war, our target is 1999 Constitution. So if Showore is going there granting interview, yes, if I'm president, I'll go and beg Ndibo. We don't need your apology. We don't need your begging. Bring down 1999 Constitution. That's what we need because it will free everyone and everybody will be okay. So during the video that we played earlier on, we showed you Nina's definitive milestones to liberation. You see, it's like a clock, everything in beats. So we'll go through it for you in this segment of our show so everybody will understand. So the first part of that like clock, first quarter, Station A/2020 is done. That A to B has been completed. What was inside it? A 20-year painstaking process deployed Q4 1999. That's the 4th quarter of 1999. Produced a countrywide consensus against the unitary Constitution of Nigeria, culminating in the activation of the December 16th, 2020 Constitutional Force Majeure with a 5-point transitioning proposition for the constitutional reconstruction of Nigeria. It's done. You see, it's marked green. Done. It's been done. It's finished. Because people say, oh, what have you been doing for 25 years? Work. It had steps. When you finish one, you go to the next one. When you finish, that's what we talk about, organization. That's how people do things. Not yeah. Today is this, tomorrow is that. You scratch your head, wake up, you say, oh, I think I have to declare Biafra the 20th time. So, segment station B/2023. You can see B to C. Countrywide consensus that the imposed unitary constitution of Nigeria is responsible for the failures, woes, and multidimensional dysfunctions, including bad governance, corruption, insecurity, high cost of governance, electoral malfeasances, infrastructural decay, and impunity. All these things. Unitary Constitution is responsible for all of it. So if somebody can say, yes, we want to fight for good governance, what does that mean? What are you talking about? Oh, we want to fight insecurity. What are you talking about? They're all together in one package. The remedy, therefore, lies in the wholesale constitutional reconstruction of Nigeria, not in elections and change of leadership, nor in constitutional amendments and palliative. All these are cosmetic makeover. If you want, if your skin is bad, If you want, put 20 powder, make sure the skin will continue to be bad, because it's from inside your skin grows and get better. So if you're keeping yourself under serious stress, you will not sleep, you will not eat well, then you will carry pancake 20 and put. When you wash away pancake, your skin will not have that clean outlook. That's what it is like in Nigeria. What is causing the problem is the unitary constitution. If you want to move this from here, change the window, change the door, paint it, your foundation is rotten, is bad. What you see is rottenness. Station C /Q3 2024. Okay, by the way, the other one I said is already done. The B to C is done also. Then Station C, Q3 2024 is ongoing. It's ongoing as we speak. Amidst widespread hunger and mass economic dislocation and devastation following two disastrous federal government policies, fuel subsidy withdrawal and naira flotation. Somebody just woke up and said, the subsidy is gone. How? What do you mean? How do you take care of the people? That is what happens when someone is dictating policy given to him by the colonial masters. He doesn't know what he's saying. He's not intelligent enough to know. Even when he knows, he's too desperate to be in Aso Rock that he's willing to sell even his abam. Yes, he will sell it. He will sell even his children. Anything on the way for him to get to Aso Rock, he will sell that thing, including his own people. So you just come out and announce a policy without knowing that there's a process to implementing policies. But how will you know? Is it not when you have sense you will know? Or when you're sincere and honest? Because like we said last week, anyone that is going to lead Nigeria under 1999 Constitution is already a criminal that is agreeing that he wants to lead Nigeria under 1999 Constitution. Just know the person is a criminal already, because he knows he cannot achieve anything. But he wants to get them because he wants to go and steal too. Yeah, cake. They're sharing cake at the expense of the blood of our people. So most Nigerians now realize that the unitary constitution of Nigeria is directly responsible for their present miseries, including mass hunger, harrowing economic pains, and dislocation, and that their redemption lies in the wholesale decommissioning of that constitution. Do you understand? Wholesale decommissioning, not part and part, not palliative, not amendment, all, because it's a fraud. If it's a fraud, then it has to go so that the real one can replace it, made by the people. The arrangement, of course, that we're talking about. Then the last segment of it, Station D, Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. That's the fourth quarter of 2024 to the first quarter of 2025. A critical mass from Station C to precipitate immediate transitioning for the constitutional reconstruction of Nigeria by rejecting further national elections, especially that of 2027, under the fraudulent 1999 Constitution, as a mark of their rejection of the death-dispensing 1999 Constitution, and as a matter of an urgent self-preservation imperative, since further national elections will continue to renew that 1999 evil constitution, evil arrangement, unitary constitution, unitary arrangement, whatever you call it, that thing is evil and is against people. So is in view. So please, if you miss any part of this that we are breaking down, please, you can go back and watch it. You see, we're taking it easy to break it down for our people. These are the milestones. Some have been done. We told you A to B, B to C, done. C to D, ongoing. D to A, in view. So we are moving into that. And we come to break it down so that our people can be part of it. Especially, of course, we say that this video is for educational purposes only, and it should not be blocked. No segment of it should. Our people need this information. It's based on truth, based on fact, not propaganda, not lies. So there's no reason any social media should block it, except social media is against the people. Let's give us take-home points. We have the unfinished business of decolonizing Nigeria, a task NINAS is leading through the decommissioning of the 1999 unitary constitution. Excuse me. With the defects, with the defeats and the delegitimization of the 1999 constitution, we must now proceed to the decommissioning of that fraud via immediate transitioning. This is NINAS on 4th anniversary of the constitutional force majeure that happened December 16th, 2027. As a mark of their rejection of the 1999 constitution, the indigenous peoples of Nigeria are required to firmly and loudly reject the voyage to 2027 general elections from start of 2025. After you're done eating your Christmas food, please, it's time for us, you be part of it. That's the next phase of what we're about to do. You need to urgently demand an immediate transitioning process. You need to demand that. Not PVC, not obedience. No. Immediate transitioning process. And remember, we said it's not boycott of general elections. No, it's total shutdown of the preparation for the journey to 2027 national elections. Total shutdown. And you, the people, need to adopt the 5-point proposition of the constitutional force majeure as your demand for ease engagement. Thank you. We want to remind our people. You can see the steps, the things that have been done. Final decommissioning, the union of death. 1 has been done, repudiation of the 1999 constitution. 2 has been done, constitutional force majeure. Where we are is now 3, which is transition. And then we take us to referendum, plebiscites, and then new constitutional order. Is in that order. You're going from down and going up, achieving one after the other, and then moving. That's how it's done. That's how people that have brain do things. You don't just do yaga and jump out from somewhere. No. Of course, transition now. Say go to social media, talk about transition. All of you that you're doing content creation, we see what's his name? I've forgotten their name in Genje. All those people, you can use your platform. Majeure, Good Diary, all of you can use your platform to give the people the information they need. But no, you want the one that you will say for sensationalism, then you lament with the people. Ooh, cry with them. Ooh, see what has happened. Okay, what are we going to do? Let's cry together. Oh, we cry together, and then what happens? When you're done crying, what happens? The people continue to die. So if you want to be part of this campaign, this is what you should do. Shut down any other thing that is talking what will not give the people the freedom they need. We need to transition now. And it's going to be for everyone, for all the indigenous people, not a segment. It's everyone. Of course, we'll go through our announcements. We'll talk about our spotlight on the wisdom of our ancestors. We are Igbos, so we used Igbo ancestors. And you can do in your own ethnicity, your ethnic nationality, Yoruba, Ijaw, Efik. We know that you have beautiful culture. It's not all bad in Africa. No, no. We have some people that abuse some of our culture and everything. We're not talking about those ones. And then some culture that some of our people didn't know better and they did whatever they did. We're not talking about those ones. Celebrate the ones that are authentic, and then some that need improvement. Talk about improvement, because it's progressive. Knowledge is progressive, and the same thing with culture and tradition. That's how it is in our area. So we build based on the wisdom of our ancestors, then we improve on what we can do, because we are human beings. We are able to think, we are able to reason, we are able to get solution to our problems, local solution for local problems. So those videos are out there, Daughters of Truth, YouTube videos, and Facebook, Wisdom of Our Ancestors. We treated certain topics like marriage, like omugo, like, a lot of things. And you get wisdom for yourself, for your private life, and then to understand your identity, because we don't want all this identity crisis where the white man and the colonialists are telling us story of our people, and then sometimes they add all the jara and all the nonsense they put inside, and people are so confused. So we don't want that. So, and we have our sister with Smart African on Spotify and Clubhouse, Sister Ndidi, and then Nina's also Clubhouse Tuesdays, but I think when they announce, it's as announced, when they announce, you see the information. And then Twitter Tuesday for all, even if you're just there writing Nina's is right, hashtag Nina's is right, hashtag we stand with Nina's, hashtag transition now, that's sufficient. It's better than just being on Twitter, wasting your data, saying things that do not make sense. Then if you want to learn more, www.ninasvoice.org, and then also have www.thedaughtersofTruth.org. Excuse me. These are websites where you can get more information, authentic information. Please insist on transition now. Of course, we have our catalog and campaign materials. Proudly Igbo man, proudly Igbotic, unapologetically Igbotic. Say it loud, I am Igbo and proud. This is for us. Say your own, do your own. We want to celebrate our indigenous people. That's what we're saying. Do not be shy about your indigenous origin, your ancestral origin. No, because it's this thing that they did. They made us to be shy of our ethnicity and our indigenous origin, so that if you don't know who you are, you can't have access to the land, which they want. So it's part of the program, part of the scheme to take you out of the land, the ancestral land, so that they can steal the resources in there. It's all part of the program. And that's what we say. We are reversing everything that the colonial monsters did. They tried to take us out of our land. They tried to make us to have identity crisis, bleaching our skin, stretching our hair, doing everything that will not help us as a people. We are reversing it. So from your corner, please begin to reverse. We don't need to quarrel amongst ourselves. We don't need to fight amongst ourselves. I have my land, you have your land. I have my resources, you have your resources. Why are we fighting? So there's no need to fight amongst ourselves. We have some of the materials already in back home, in the homeland, and people already buying them. Of course, we have Nina Secretariat information. The phone lines are there. If you want to be part of this mobilization, if you want to volunteer, if you want to get information, if you want anything, call these numbers. You have LNC Secretariat. If that's the part of the information you want, please call these numbers. So thank you so much. And Daughters of Truth, we have our website, we have our YouTube, we have Facebook, we have TikTok as Umada 2019, we have Instagram, we have Twitter. So please go get enough information. And thank you once again for all the people that stopped by, that watched, and those that will watch later. yes, hopefully we'll see if Sister Mona will be here next week. I really miss her because I don't want to do this alone. You know, I want us to do it together, but we'll continue. She's quite busy, and um, we'll continue. Thank you so much for being here, Uchenno Keke. Thank you, Tajuddin, Sir Tajuddin. Thank you, and others that cannot read out now because I'm not seeing my Facebook. So I know people are there because I can see their likes, but I'm not able to access that. Thank you so much. And then see you again next week. Let's do this again. And then next week is Christmas. Okay, Merry Christmas in advance. All right. Bye. Take care.